Hello, everyone. So now that we're kind of beyond the basic calculations for finding descriptive statistics, to help us out later on in the semester, I'm going to show us how to use the TI-84 calculator. If you have a calculator and you don't want to use SALT, that's fine with me. So on the board right here is our data set, 3, 5, 7, 8, 8, 14, 16. And I'm just going to show you how to input this into your TI-84 calculator. They're all pretty much the same. Maybe the buttons are a little bit different, but don't worry about that. Like I said, they're all pretty much the same. So let's go. Let's open our calculator here. Put it on detached LCD so you can see it. All right. First thing we're going to do is click on the stat button. Now the stat button is in the third column, second button down. And you're going to see this word that says edit. All right. So we're going to go ahead and click on edit. And if you have numbers already in this list, the easiest way, in fact, here, I'll just put some numbers in here just so you can see how to do this real fast. All right, so here's some numbers. If you already have numbers within the list, the easiest way to clear them all out is just to scroll up till L1 is highlighted, hit clear, and then enter. And it'll clear them all out. So now what I'm going to do is that list of values that I had earlier, I'm just going to type them in. So 3, enter, 5, enter, 7, enter, and you can kind of follow along here, 8, 8, 14, and 16. All right. So now that we have our list of data, and this L1 stands for list 1, list 2, list 3, and so forth. Okay. So now that we have our list, we're going to go back to stats. All right. Except this time, we're gonna highlight this over here. We're gonna go over to calculate. So we just go ahead and hit the right arrow, and you have all these different things like 1 variable statistics, 2 variable statistics. I don't know what med stands for. I'll have to look that one up. You have linear regression, but you got to be careful because there's actually 2 of them. All right. Quadratic regression, cubic regression, quartic regression. I mean, there's all these different things that you can go ahead and you can look at. Okay. This second linear regression, that's the one that we always want. All right. But to be honest with you, you're just going to use SALT or something like that anyways. Let's go back to option number 1, which is variable statistics. So you hit enter here, and it's going to say, okay, what list would you like me to use? You could do L1, but if you need to switch the list, okay, if you look above the number 1 on my calculator, it's blue. It may be a little bit different on your calculator. But if you look at the number 1, you got above it, it's going to be L1, and then above the number 2 is L2, and above the number 3 is L3, and so forth. So you can change the list if you want to do that. But we're gonna leave it on list 1. Do not concern yourself ever with frequency list. We're just gonna scroll down until we see the word, or until it's highlighted calculate, hit enter, and there you go. So you got X bar, which is our mean. That's 8.7. The sum of the x's is 61. The sum of the x squared, 663. Please be careful. S of x right here, all right, is the standard deviation for the sample, okay? Sigma x, or sigma of x, is the standard deviation of the population. So that's it's not entirely different, all right? It's just a different way of calculating. Later on in this semester, you are going to know the difference between a population and a sample. In fact, in chapter 1, we went over those definitions, but later on, they play a huge role in what we use when we're trying to calculate confidence intervals or z-scores or hypothesis testing. So we got to know the difference between a sample and then a population. The number of samples was 7. Then we go down, we get our 5-number summary, but you got to be careful with this because this is just a 5-number summary. This doesn't take into account any outliers or anything like that. So in order for you to do that, you would actually have to use a special program to actually calculate that. Once again, just use SALT, okay? But this is how you go ahead and you calculate 1 variable statistics, which is basically this entire course except for regression. That's where we have 2 variables. But this will help you out tremendously, provided you want to use your calculator. I hope this helps, and I'll see you in the next video.